Hi everyone, and welcome to another Harley Quinn video. In this video I have Mufasa with me again, and we're going to end up covering the specific set play and Okie situations for Harley Quinn. And you can apply these across the entire cast to cover different options, and I'm using Batman's specific example so we can end up explaining how even if there are multiple options, Harley can still cover those options and what to do in those situations. With Batman specifically, he does end up having an advantage compared to other characters for some of these mind games because he can end up enforcing some that as Harley, if you react improperly, they can result in you getting full combo punished. First, we're going to end up covering just the basics of basics, and that would be the main ways that you're going to want to end up ending your combos and why. The main way you're going to want to end up ending your combos would be for max damage and for distance. The reason why you usually would want distance is because if you're going for one of these setups, it guarantees you the ability to end up throwing a dog out. So for example, anytime you land a back 3, it would be something along the lines of jump 3 into the back 1 string, followed by a special canceled gunshot for a little bit extra damage. Because of the spacing, even on knockdown, you get to guarantee a dog against everyone in the cast. You get to guaranteed throw a hyena, and you can choose whether that hyena is a mid or an overhead. The overhead variation can catch people from jumping in certain spacings and certain distances. For me personally, I use both depending on what I want my opponent to be doing or what I'm trying to enforce as a mix-up, because I can create double overheads or triple overheads, etc. off of jump attacks, or I can send a ground hyena across the ground and cause the opponent to try to end up jumping. And in most case scenarios, if they do a regular wake-up attack, even if it is their quote-unquote invincible wake-up attack, the hyena will actually end up stuffing out that option. So against Batman, just to show that it stuffs out the invincible option first, I'm going to do a full combo into a hyena, and I'm going to have my friend here wake up with Batman's slide, which is supposed to be his real invincible wake up. And as you saw there, the hyena beat it out clean into a hard knockdown, so off of that I would immediately get another guessing game of probably like an instant air gunshot at the least for a little bit extra damage back into neutral, which Batman would then have to work his way in. Makes it really good. Now, just so that everyone saw it and that we know that that exists, most Batman players will now realize, okay, I can't end up spamming that wake up. I can't end up using up batarang because all that's going to do is just waste meter and probably get me punished anyway, so I'm not going to end up using that wake up. So the other option is to jump, which this is viable. You can technically jump over the grounded hyena, but this is actually a mind game that starts to go into usually Harley Quinn's favor unless you have the ability to end up dive kicking, changing your jump arc, or floating, which in this case, Batman, as the example, does have that capability, luckily. But I wanted to use him as the example of a regular jump first, just so that you guys can see at home why this is so important. So if I land any type of combo, and I end it in the exact same setup, and someone decides to jump forward with a jumping attack, I actually have an advancing mid that covers some pretty decent space, that if a jump attack is whiffed, I can end up punishing them either as a trip guard, or for whiffing the jump attack into full combo. And a lot of people don't know this, but I can actually full combo convert from back 1 straight into silly slide, and that would lead to a full combo launch. So in this example, I'll be doing any type of combo into, say, that exact same setup, and Mufasa is going to forward jump 2. And as you saw there, I got a full follow-up combo as a actual punish and or trip guard against Batman for him trying to end up jumping forward with an attack. Now, of course, this is going to be more effective to those characters that cannot change their jump arcs and that do not have any type of air mobility. But for Batman, in this specific matchup, there are two other things you have to end up thinking about as Harley. And that's going to be his ability to jump and float. Batman has this ability that whenever he jumps forward and presses again, he extends his cape, slowing his descent, and he can end up choosing from 3 different options: a instant dive kick, a cancel of glitter, and an elbow drop. This actually makes the knockdown game with Harley way more interesting because two of the options you can still pretty much instantaneously punish. The dive kick, if he chooses to go for it, is full combo punishable on block. So if Mufasa wants to do it just to see what it looks like for me, so I'm going to block an instant air dive kick. It is also a mid, so I don't have to end up blocking it as an overhead if he does choose to try to end up using that dive kick. So if you could jump dive kick for me, Mufasa. That is an actual punishable option that if I see it, I don't have to block it as an overhead. I can just instant down one punish for full combo. The other options that he has, though, are a little bit more interesting, and these are going to be completely space dependent, but you can still punish them. I'm going to use the full combo example so that people at home can see how it can be used and applied. If I full combo punish Batman, and he jumps forward into a float, and instead he chooses to use glitter instead of a dive kick, glitter will be one that I can still wait on and just react and punish to, even if he meter burns it, as long as I have built the space. The space is what's going to dictate whether I can punish Batman or not. And in most case scenarios, even if he does use the raw glitter, it has so many recovery frames that I can still either instant jump to punish or wait for him to land and just react with a raw silly slide to end up punishing him for it. So I'll use either one of those examples as a punish. Mufasa, I just want you to glide forward and use glitter, okay? Now in that instance, that was perfect, Mufasa. From this spacing, because of me reacting and being able to see it, I can actually do a silly slide, and silly slide will reach from this distance. So if I see a Batman player do that glide and end up canceling into glitter, he may think that he is safe because of the space, but on reaction to seeing him come down from the ground, you can actually end up doing just a regular silly slide and end up full combo punishing him for that option. So for example, I'm going to do it again just so that we can see the actual punish. And then I'd be back up in Batman's face again. So the last one is the one I'm definitely going to be using for the example. So in this exact specific situation, I ended up catching him a couple frames before he hit the ground at an anti-air. It is just one of many options that you can use as Harley in that situation to then go for another knockdown setup. There are other opties that people are going to end up finding and using. I'm just listing the possible examples, so feel free at home to make your own combos and figure out what your optimal punishes are. But I used Batman as the example of a character that they can change their jump arc, and even though they changed the jump arc, it doesn't change their ability to be safe on block. The other one I wanted to cover just as the example is, say that you have a character, and I'm going to be using Batman again, that can cancel from that flying kick or flying glide into a form of a dive kick or some other type of attack. So in Batman's case, I'm going to be using elbow drop, because elbow drop would normally be +5 on block. If Batman goes for the glide into a form of a instant drop, and it's going to be the elbow drop in this case, this will also work against the instant dive kick as well. I can end up actually just doing an instant jump 2, and the instant jump 2 will actually beat him out of the air, as well as allow me to get a quick little follow-up into another either guaranteed setup, a guaranteed gunshot, whatever your heart desires really in that situation. So I'm going to be doing the exact same setup, and this time I'm going to ask him to do a float into the elbow drop, and I'm going to try to interrupt him out of the air for it. As you saw there, I was able to end up interrupting it regardless. And for a lot of characters, if they do try to air like that, and if you know that your jump 2 will beat out their jump attacks, that will usually be one of your better options to guarantee the stuff of any other option they're trying to do in the air. That pretty much covers, I'd say, the basics for all of the different characters in the game when it comes to stuffing the usually invincible wake-up attacks, baiting the jump attacks so that whenever they do try to land, you can full combo punish on whiff, as well as if they have some type of air, mobility, dive kick, something along those lines, that you can end up just instant jump 2ing and still end up covering all of those options either way. So they have to end up then eating whatever mix-up that you choose to apply. But you can end up using a instant air gunshot as another example if the opponent did not jump as well. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to watch all my other content when it comes to Harley, MKX, or Injustice 2. And if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much.